me here.
Appreciate you being here, man. We got a few people in here already. We got Matt Clausen, John R, and Mr. Josh Keeble, not Mrs. Sorry. We got a few good heavy hitters in here already. So back here, thanks for everybody tuning in, whether it's the VOD or the live stream at the moment. Here for another Venture Capital podcast, and we have a great guest, Mr. JP. If you look at the pinned comment, he is a credit card creator with very interesting style and a very interesting takes on all of his videos, and definitely somebody you want to check out. But for those who are unaware, JP, could you just give us like a quick introduction, who you are, what you do, all that?
Yeah, I'm JP Buffett. I've been doing credit card YouTube for about a year now, almost a year. But I started my journey in this about 2021. So I love talking about credit cards. But mainly I like to see it from the travel aspect and not really from just the card itself. So a lot of my stuff is dealing around points, but also like different travel things. So things about like travel trivia, but pretty much like why things are the way they are, like different companies and stuff like that. So, but yeah,
Definitely. And that was like the one thing I noticed after kind of researching more in depth and looking at the full span of your channel. It's not only like sometimes you have some occasional hot takes that I noticed that are very cool, but I also noticed that you're also very funny, and you mentioned some things on video. Like, I love people who can add humor into the credit card space, because it's just,
right.
At its core, it might be a more dull kind of subject, but really it's one of the best subjects you could actually be in. But I think you called yourself the Dave Chappelle of Nostradamus. I love that. Or
Yeah,
the
man.
Dave Chappelle version of host Nostradamus. Very funny.
Right.
So I've been appreciating just your videos lately and everything. I think you're doing great, and honestly, your style too. If anybody looks at JP, like, he's got style for days. I don't know what it is. Like, it's like very aesthetic.
You can kind of thank my wife for that one. She's very into the aesthetics and whatnot. Like I kind of like whatever she has is rubbed off on me a little bit. So anything you're seeing,
All right.
it's come from her.
Well, I'm gonna go into some stuff that might let people know that it's not necessarily just all her, but we'll see. Anyway, so I wanted to jump into this because this is something that I know it's happening in the space right now, but I'm just not quite. I haven't looked into it further. Like, I've heard you talk about this, Chad and Matt Clausen talk about this, but I want to know more in depth on what's actually happening. I think a lot of you want to know what's happening. So, what's the deal with Wells Fargo right now? Okay, what's the deal with them? What's happening?
So I'm going to preface this by saying I do not have an autograph card. I'm going to preface by saying that.
Unreal.
But from what I've learned, Wells Fargo does not have transfer partners right now. And there was a thing going around that we're going to add transfer partners. They were supposed to add them on November 15th. That was the thing that was going around, and we're all getting ready for that. Like, oh, they're going to, who are they going to add? They're going to add, American Airlines, because the Bilt card has American Airlines as a transfer partner. And people thought, oh, they might add them, or they might, add Hyatt, given its relationship and whatnot. But that was a big thing, being able to actually transfer the transfer partners, as like that would be you get more value out of that than just like going through Wells Fargo's portal. So that's kind of like where I was looking at it from. Basically, like, okay, if I can use these points for transfer the transfer partners, like, who would they be? But obviously, it got pushed back. That now the date is December 10th, I believe. But it's kind of like dampened my expectations for them, because given the fact like you push it back once, like you push it back in, like, are the transfer partners underwhelming? I think Matt Clausen's, like, his takes on this are a lot better than mine. I would definitely push everybody to his stuff. But yeah, that's just like where I'm looking at it from. Basically, Wells Fargo, because they have their partnership with Bilt, people are speculating that the transfer partners might be similar to Bilt's, at least from my perspective, and that that's like where a lot of the hype is coming from. And I think also the idea that you have a fresh face, in a sense, in the space, because you have Amex, you have Chase, and sometimes Citi a bit. Though I think Citi should get more love, honestly. But you're not really having many others who are transferring, allow you to transfer points and allow you to like get that travel aspect of it also. So I think it's just that's like why people are really talking about Wales in that way.
Definitely. Okay, so that all makes sense to me, and we're going to get into, because I think you actually have you had some predictions I remember seeing in one video a little bit ago, so I'd love to get into that,
Mhm.
but I would be remiss if I didn't mention Mr. John coming in with a $5
Nice.
super chat with an amazing message saying, "Donating to your next meal at the JP Buffet."
Oh man. Yeah.
Always a full
So,
menu at JP Buffett.
oh man, like so I didn't know that that's like so it's funny my name and we'll probably get into this later also but JP Knowledge I like when I first made my name like a while ago this is before I even thought about the credit card YouTube space or anything like that but when I started making my videos I saw I was like wait there's another JP here I'm like oh credit card YouTube wait, credit card content also oh my god what am I doing
Right, of
but
course.
yeah but yeah
That's so funny. Matter of fact, somebody to go off tangent for a moment, somebody in the Discord also mentioned like, how does it feel to be like the younger brother to JP Knowledge?
I I enjoy it honestly. I think it's pretty funny honestly. But I love his content. He talks about like transfer part of how to like get value out of that. I've watched a lot of his content, like like who to go with. Because I think when I first got into this, and it's kind of funny because I actually have a video coming about this a while later. But we always hear about you can get the most value for transferring your points, but like nobody really talks about how hard it is actually to find that value first. Like that, I
Mm,
think in terms of like the actual aspect of it, like finding actual transfer availability is
mm,
really difficult when you're trying to like get a good amount of value out of it,
yeah.
or perceived value. Because I think that's another part that I like talking about is like I think Dugas reports like I like his take on this. Like when I first started doing this is kind of a tangent, but like when I first started doing this stuff, I started watching people. I think like some people are almost they're not even around anymore. But one of the guys I watch that everybody knows, like Ask Chevy. It's like the Bora Boras and these and stuff. I'm thinking like this is what I have to do if I want to gain the value. And
Yeah.
it really like made me anxious. Like if I didn't do that.
Hmm.
So like so over time, like, okay, like I don't have to do those things. Like I have to do things that, like bring me value that make me happy. That it doesn't have to be the highest cent per point. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Just be like, will you make a memory? If you
Hmm.
make a memory, in my mind, I don't care what the cent per point is. Like I didn't pay cash for this. I'm bringing my family along.
Hmm.
That's it. That's all I need.
Hmm. I love that. I absolutely love that, and I've heard similar things in this community of everybody who have started a channel who do like to emphasize travel. They always mention like that same thing. Like, I'm not trying to go to Maldives, not trying to go to Bora Bora, not trying to do these things every single, every
Right.
couple months and everything. Oh my god! And then now Chad Money Minutes
Oh,
coming to cut
Chad.
me off. The
No.
heavy
So
hitters are in the building. Shout out to JP Buffett.
so
Oh my god.
I want to say something actually first before we move on. Like I think for me, actually continuing on, Chad was one of the first people who that, like one of the people who big people who saw my channel and like when he subscribed, I was like, oh my god, this guy I've been watching for years. Like why looking at my videos, I got to actually improve what I do.
Hmm.
So like I really like kind of thank him for giving me the courage to like keep going. Honestly. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I never said that before, but like literally, I remember it was like February 2020, like February this year, and like I saw, I saw he subscribed to my channel. I was like, oh crap, I gotta, maybe I'm actually doing something that's like worthwhile.
Wow.
But yeah,
Chad's always watching out for everybody.
yeah,
Anybody who's in the space. He probably knows more creators than anybody else, actually. I think he's aware of more and more people who are out there than
right,
anybody. Yeah, Chad's definitely been a guiding light for a lot of people for sure in this space. So we
yeah,
appreciate you, Chad and Mr. John, for the super chat so early in the game here.
yeah,
Um, Much appreciated. So, well, yeah, like I like what you said about creating memories because it seems to me like over the last few months, as I have been actually creating memories where I haven't for a long time,
Mhm.
sad to say, that's been like the overarching, theme of all this points of miles game. It's like cool to rack everything up, but actually using it has been, amazing. And it looks like you're a person who's using them a lot for someone who just got kind of started in 2021. Let me see.
Man,
I think, at least from what I've seen, you've been in the
mhm.
last year, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been to France, England, Bali, and Japan.
So not correct, almost
Okay.
correct.
All right.
So I have been to England. France was a different time.
Hmm.
That was before those points and miles. Bali and Japan are happening for my wedding or for my honeymoon. So I'm actually creating that one's coming up actually next year. So I actually just finished the report redemptions for that. Like so everything's like all the hotel, well most of the hotels. One we can't get on points,
Hmm.
but all the flights are covered. So yeah, it's gonna be I think like Japan, Bali, and in Thailand are going to
Oh
be
my god,
our three locations. Yeah,
that's amazing. Well, first,
yeah.
congratulations, man. You got
No,
married recently.
thank you, thank you.
You're definitely killing it in more ways than one. So that's awesome. Um, oh, and just getting back, Chad said, I appreciate that. You have awesome content. When you flip to the podcast, I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, like, even that, even the podcast, like I was like, nobody's gonna want to listen to this. Like, I'm literally just like taking different things like from the this from the news headlines. It's like talking about it. Like, does anybody care that this is like happening? But like, yeah, like when he said, oh, he likes, I'm like, maybe there are, then other people start chiming in. It was more for like not new people coming in, but the subscribers who are already there, who already like liked my style, already liked what I was saying. Um, that was more for them. And I was like, okay, I'm not really doing this to, like grow my channel, but I'm more so doing it to feed the people who are already here and already want to know about this type of thing.
Mm,
So
definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
I think you're definitely doing it very well for sure. Um, so I kind of want to kind of go back a little bit because I want to get
Hmm.
into all these redemptions and all these places you've been because that's always the most exciting for me. But I
Hmm.
want to know kind of your story with credit cards. Like, how did you kind of get started in the whole game?
So my history with credit cards is, I think this is kind of like just a human story of credit cards for a lot of people. Start off with debt. A lot of debt. My first credit card was I didn't like credit cards for a while after that. But my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she would talk about her Delta Sky miles. She travels a lot for work and whatnot, so she would like rack up Delta Sky miles. I'm like, what is this? What are you talking about? Like, everything's going on. But so I'm the type of person, like when I look into something, I like do a deep dive in
Mhm.
what's going on. So I just like start looking at all these different like YouTube channels, like blogs, stuff like that. I go on into the Point Sky, stuff like that, and I'm like, oh crap, I can actually use these things to like to get out of to travel the world. That's what I really want to do. So I think the first card I got that allowed me to do this was the also I love American Express, but the first card that allowed me to do this was American Express Everyday card.
Hmm.
It was one of the first cards I got, like, well, I actually went to like travel. It's like this is the goal. I got that card, and I got, I forgot how many points I got for it. I got that card. I got the Delta Gold card also. This is like
Hmm.
in a 3 month span. And I tried to get my wife. I was like, hey, like this whole player two strategy. Like, what do you want to do it with me? And she's like, no, I don't really like credit cards. And I'm like, come on now, we can do this. But anyways, like I found, like, you know what? She loves London. She loves London. I'm like, we can go to London. We can go to London, and we can. And she also likes to chase Sapphire Preferred. She's like, I only car I ever wanted to chase Sapphire Preferred. I'm like, all right, whatever. We can get that card. I think it was like 90K bonus in branch. She gets the card. We have enough points to like transform over the Hyatt. We pay
Hmm.
for the fight with Delta Sky Miles, and
Hmm.
uh, we basically go to London for free for New Year's. And like and that being able to do that to me was like I was hooked. I'm like, this would be easily $3,000-4,000, just to go here.
Oh
And
yeah.
since that time, I literally, this is before I got into the YouTube part of it. So like since the time, I'm like, bro, I need to figure out every single card that I can learn from, and like how to do this like, correctly. Because I think that's it was haphazard. I wouldn't have gotten the everyday card if I had, because I think at the time I had the opportunity to get. I think the green card was at the opportunity to, because it was like all pre-approved through Amex. I think
Hmm.
the gold card was also there too. So I could have gotten more points for the amount of spend I put in. But yeah, that was like my first like foray into like actually learning about it. But I got really deep into cards after that. But yeah, it really honestly started with her talking about Delta Sky Miles and me trying to figure out like what the hell that even meant.
Right. That is awesome, and that's pretty crazy to me. That the fact that that was your like that was the first points of miles trip. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Like
some.
I
Mhm.
no, I've never done it before, and I had the Chase the United Explorer card. I had it for like 5 years. before then.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know anything about the sign-up bonuses or anything like that. Like none of this was in my radar. And for I mean, I'm like 33 now, so like I got in at 31.
Hmm.
So for my entire 20s, I just stayed away from it because I'm like,
Nothing.
this is not all it's going to give me is debt. That's all it's going to give me. So I'm not going to, go for that. But yeah, that's where my journey started, though.
That's crazy. And was that your first time abroad?
No, like I said before, I've been to France
Mm.
before. So I guess I can tell whatever. So I'm a scientist, so like I had to go to a conference in Geneva. So that was my first time abroad, my first conference and whatnot abroad. And so, to be honest with you, I wasn't really a fan of going abroad to Geneva. I'm not a fan of Geneva at all. Switzerland might be great, but like I did not have a good time while I was there the first time
Huh.
around. But yeah, with her though, it's much better.
Gotcha. Well, that's something I don't necessarily want to brush over. So you're a scientist?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
what does
I'm
that mean?
actually getting my PhD right now. Finishing up pretty soon in neuroscience.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man. Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so for a dummy like me,
No,
who
no.
did a year of college and dropped out, what would you say? Like, if you had to describe to me your job, because I can't even understand what you would be
so
doing.
so this is actually pretty interesting.
Right.
So the best way I can describe it, this is like kind of like why I'm interested in this whole space and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I study social cognition, basically trying
Mm.
to understand like what makes what the brain can understand, like the difference between something that's social and not social. I think that's pretty known to all of us.
Mm.
But the question is why. And you have
Mm.
different different disorders, or you have different people with conditions or whatnot that makes it hard to interact in social environments.
Mm.
So the question for me personally is like, can we pin down a mechanism or our neural circuit, our brain circuit, pretty much that is responsible for this process?
Hmm.
It's very, very, very early days for my work and whatnot, but yeah, that's pretty much my work.
And Matt Clausen has a question for you. He says, "JP, can you help solve
Yeah.
neurodegenerative diseases?"
No, that's not even in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
That's-
And
yeah,
John said, "JP just
yeah,
casually says, I'm a scientist going after a PhD." Yeah, just casually,
yeah.
just hanging out.
It's weird. It's weird because like I mean I've been in this world, like this is like I've been in this
Mm.
world for so long that for me it's just kind of like whatever. So but yeah, no, I do enjoy it. But actually, it's funny because I actually, um, the credit card world has been like a nice like release from that world. So like, I don't
Hmm.
even like want to talk about what I mean. Now it's fine, but I'm saying like
Okay.
I always thought about YouTube channels and whatnot. I'm like, oh, maybe I should like make a YouTube channel on science. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
That is like
exactly, right?
so uh, is really boring to talk about for me personally. But but yeah, either way.
Gotcha. Well, I also would. I know you, like you said, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit, but I also just want to know what kind of got you into that field. Like, what
Yeah,
started that for you?
so I actually want to be a medical doctor when I was growing up. That
Hmm.
was like the original goal. I learned in college very quickly I did not want to be a medical doctor anymore. Um, but I was still studying neuroscience as my undergrad degree.
Hmm.
I'm very interested in psychology, also decision making, and stuff like that. So it kind of like what led me down a rabbit hole. I was working in labs. I didn't even know what a PhD was at the time, and I actually met some grad students who were talking about. I was like, it's funny. So, so they were talking about. I went to lab. I was like, oh, like how much do you guys pay to like to be in grad school? I'm thinking it's like med school where you pay a obscene amount of money
Yeah.
to be in med school. They're like, no, they pay us. I'm like, wait. So you're telling me that you go to school, learn about all these things, do these experiments, and they pay you to do it?
Hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm like, where do I sign up? So that was like, like the first, like me actually getting into the PhD or science realm, like actual researcher realm of it. But initially, yeah, I wanted. I'm very interested in just like human behavior personally. That's just like interest of mine. I think that's one of the reasons why I like this space, decision making decisions, like why people choose certain cars, why people like certain things and whatnot. And just like also like in terms of traveling, I want to like go to different places and learn from different people and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So that's like I think that's what kind of like why this realm of credit card content um, works for me personally. But yeah, I got into it because I just am interested in human behavior.
Got it. Got it. Now, are you trying to understand human behavior for good or for bad?
Now I really should go work for like Meta or somebody like that.
Yes,
No,
right. Neuralink and all that. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, don't even get me started on them.
Oh no.
But so I also I do that the type of work that Neuralink does. I do something similar.
Mm.
And like the what what they're coming up with as like yeah. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there. There might be
Okay.
some Neuralink fans in the thing, but I'll leave it there. But
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. That's pretty cool. But I'm also interested how, like, that's a thing? Like, they pay you to go to school there for that field?
Yeah, so what happens is since it's a biomedical research,
Hmm,
the NIH pays, our National Institutes of Health pays uh, researchers, RO1s, are basically research grants and stuff like that, to do research. And a part of that, it allows them to pay for graduate students or pay for postdoctorate workers.
hmm,
And so that's really where the money comes from. And if a lab does not have that money, they can't really take on students. So it's really coming from grant funding, usually from the government, sometimes from private institutions. But that's where like the paying for me comes from. But I will say though, it's not that much money. Like like when I was like 20, 23, 24, I was like, oh, this is a lot of money. But now it's like I'm 33. I'm like, I really should be for the skill set I have. Uh, yeah, it's very underpaid. Put it that way.
So is the full schooling paid for too, or is it, like,
Yes.
just oh,
Yep. Everything.
wow.
Yeah. So I don't pay. It's a pretty in terms of like it's not a bad deal because what happens is your any loans you had for undergrad are deferred until you finish your program. So I
Oh,
don't pay any student loans for right now until
wow.
afterwards. But a lot of people have done this. I've should have done it, but didn't do it for multiple reasons. But since people are getting paid to go to graduate school or whatnot, they use that money to pay down their student loans. So while they're
Makes
deferred, so
sense.
you're not getting any interest or anything like that. I wish I knew that. I mean, did that at the time, but that's a story for another time.
It's alright. That's
But
pretty
yeah.
cool. So this kinda led you to, I guess eventually through your schooling, you had to go to Geneva for was it just for the
Mhm.
convention?
It was mainly for the convention, yeah. Yeah. Again, Geneva is not my cup of tea personally.
Really? It's not
Yeah,
a good
like
place?
it's not just not good. It's like you know when you're making 27K a year, like you're not going to be going to Geneva
Mm.
to really do much. So it's not. It's expensive. Put it that way. It was really expensive to be there.
Oh, I have heard that actually. I think I remember watching some in like a podcast with Logan Paul talking about going to like the Swiss Alps or something, and they were at a
Mhm.
lodge, and it was like all the wealthiest people he's ever seen, like millionaires, even billionaires apparently were there, and a regular breakfast is like $200 or something like that in that area. I was like,
Yeah,
huh,
it's a lot of money.
USD.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
it's, it's
wild.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I would definitely say like people should visit it at least, like, or somewhere like visit that place at least once.
Hmm.
But I see Josh was like, I'll skip Geneva, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, like if you're like traveling through and you're like, you're going somewhere else, I can make a pit stop, go to the World Health Organization if you really want to see it. But would I stay more than a day there?
Hmm. Good to know. Good to yeah, like Josh said, I'll be the poorest guy in Switzerland.
No.
Actually, you'll be the second poorest because then I'll be the poorest. And we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going. Everybody will be the poorest.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of to put a timeline to this. So at least we kind of started with your credit card journey. So that's 2021. Uh,
Mhm.
Geneva's in its own tax bracket, right? Um, so you got the Amex Everyday card, Chase Sapphire Preferred, and you said, "Hey, we can do this, and we're gonna go to England because
Hmm.
your now wife wanted to, always wanted to go there, I guess, or she loves it
Yeah.
there. Um,
Yeah.
so that is something I think that I hear a lot. Is it with Luke? I think it's Luke. Luke's Points of Miles. He always says like, if you ever want to get your player two into the Points of Miles game, take him to wherever. Take him to Japan.
Yeah.
Give him a good time. So it's like it's interesting that for a lot of people, you kind of have to show the value of the Points of Miles game before
Yeah.
the player two is kind of on board. So was
Yeah.
she like immediately on board after going there?
No, no.
Not at
She's
all. Okay.
to this day, she's like in the next room right now, so she'll probably hear me. But to
Yeah.
this day, she's been very hesitant about it. Even I showed her Rakuten, all these different things. Like she loves
Mm.
Rakuten now, but like she's like, I don't know, it seems like a sketchy website. Or even now, I'm like, hey, we can get this sign up bonus to go this place. She's like, I really want to need more cards, which is another thing. Like so, like getting more cards for her is like not gonna happen. I mean, it might if I gotta like, oh, we can use this to go here. She's like, okay,
Uh,
maybe. But we tried to do that for our wedding. I think with Amex had the Hilton cards were had that I think it was like a free night or something like that, like back in the summer. Um, and I was like, oh, you can get the Hilton no annual fee card, get a free night, be great. But then even though she doesn't have any cards, ended up in pop up jail. So like we ended up getting that one. So it is
Unbelievable.
what it is.
Um, I actually just wanted to mention because this guy Steve MTX came in. He said, "I'm actually
Yeah.
from Geneva, currently resides in the U.S., and I love home, but it's expensive for travelers. It's better to spend the night near the airport before after leaving the country." Wow,
Mm. Yeah.
Mister
I would agree.
Steve, interesting.
I would agree
Yeah,
with that.
so yeah, it's I always find it interesting that the player two kind of game with it because mine was we both got our first credit card within a month of each other, which
Hmm.
happened to be like 3 months after, or like maybe 5 months after knowing each other, or starting to date and everything. We both got
Hmm.
the um, Capital One secured card, and then we both got approved, put a deposit down, and then we started building our credit together.
Hmm.
But I think it was just over time as she saw more and more how I was just signing up for a million different cards and like my score wasn't dropping. It wasn't an issue. That was the biggest issue I think for a lot of people. It's like, oh, my
Yeah.
score is going to go to like 500, if I keep
Exactly.
applying.
Exactly.
So until you see somebody actually do it and realize, oh, it's not a big deal, then they can kind of see. And then of course all the free uh, hotel stays that we went on over those years kind of got her into it. Now she has 10 cards.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm trying to get her into a bit more, but I need to like slowly like move that way. I think after our honeymoon trip, she might be more on board.
hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Steve also said, "Oh, what's up, DCG?" But Steve also said, definitely recommend renting a car on the French border, cheaper, and drive around to Switzerland. Let's check out the small villages. Interesting. Um, and then Calby, what's going on, Calby?
Yeah.
What's interesting? I was denied for auto insurance because they said I opened up too many cards. Liberty
Jesus
Insurance,
Christ.
really? Huh. That's
Uh,
pretty interesting. Actually, another thing to give myself a side tangent. Mr. Calvi NG, we know and love him, my best friend.
Yep. Yep.
Um, he wanted to let you know, JP. So, okay, if you guys aren't aware, like I said in the beginning, this podcast is all over, but it's fine. We're having a fun time. JP is a master of style. If you look at his channel, he has some merch. He's got some, shirts, and he's got some nice prints and stuff. He has an Etsy shop. He's got a bunch of different things. But there, Mr. Calvi loved your merch so much that he actually bought it. He actually
Oh.
bought the merch, and
Oh
he's just
wow.
wearing it.
Oh wow.
So
Nice.
go get you guys some Team Travel JP
Uh,
merch.
wow. I
Um,
appreciate that. Thank you.
he wanted to let you know he was a
Wow.
fan for
Oh,
sure.
thanks.
But I
I appreciate
must,
that, Calby.
yeah, you got some cool, yeah, see, very cool merch. He said, yeah,
Yeah.
he saw that and he was like, that's really nice. He's like, he's got incredible style. Um,
Yeah. No.
mhm,
I love that shirt. It's in my I was wearing it a couple days ago, so I haven't been in the laundry. But
mm.
no, I really love that shirt. Like, cause like everybody talks about team cashback, team travel. I'm like, bro, you know what? How about we just like I brand myself. I am team travel right here. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and speaking
yeah,
of,
love.
because you really are Team Travel. Speaking of, you you said like you kind of started your credit card journey and kind of just wanting to push your more of your travel side. You're not really so interested in each individual card. Of course, a couple things,
Hmm.
should you get this, should you
Hmm.
not get this, but you're kind of all about the travel side. What do you think for you made you want to just do travel instead of like going like RJ's route? Just like I want all cash back so I could pay for things while I'm out abroad or something.
So I'm originally from California, from Northern California,
Hmm.
and I was there like 20 years of my life. I didn't really travel much outside there. But when I moved to Southern California, I saw for college, I saw so many different types of people. And I learned a lot from that. I realized how narrow my worldview was. And you brought up Luke earlier. I think this is kind of like for me also in terms of like I learned how much I don't know about the world
Hmm.
from the people around me. I felt like it made me a better person by being able to like interact with these people. And even if I don't agree with what they say, because I'm a very like fiery debate person. I love debating people. But I learn a bit. Like I learn a way um, to think different way to think about the world. So like on credit, I just kind of like a little bit of a tangent, but like on the credit card YouTube space there are a dime a dozen people talking about whatever card you want to hear about, but like I follow up every new one I see. I follow that person because I can learn something new from them.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the same with travel. So I want to like travel to different locations. I want to be in different spaces, some places that make me uncomfortable, to learn more about myself and also just learn about like again, like I said before, human behavior, learn about who we are
Hmm.
as people, and learn also that like we're not that different when you really get down to it. Like it's not like it's the same air, the same. Everybody has to eat, everybody has to live. We all love our families. Well, most of our family and whatnot, but
Right.
I think it's just great. I get a lot of joy from just like seeing different cultures and just like being able to like interact with that if I can. I think like I haven't really had that ability to do it, internationally. But I feel like
Hmm.
this space is now giving me that ability, and I hope it continues going on. I know people talk about the Durban Amendment stuff and like that, which I don't really know much about. I'm actually playing a video on that later, so I
Hmm.
learn more about it myself. But like as long as this space is around, as long as I'm able to do it, because obviously I don't know how my finances look, but as long as I'm able to do it, I want to do it and use it in a way to learn about the world. Again, like you said before, I don't care about the cars themselves. I honestly, truly don't. Like it could be Amex. People say, "Oh, I'm Team Amex, Team Trade." I'm Team JP. Like
Right.
that's the team. That's the team I'm on. And
That's your
whatever
next merch
card,
drop. I'm Team JP.
there you go. And like whatever can get me there. And I can sit in first class. I can sit in business class. I can sit in economy. I don't care where I'm sitting as long as I can get there and I'm there. I can meet people and whatnot. That's I love that ability.
Absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
so you said something that was slightly different than what I hear some other people say. I hear
Hmm.
people say they want to travel to gain more perspective of the world, become a person of the world, is I guess Luke would say. Um,
Hmm.
Pretty much that's how he says it. Um, but I heard you say you want to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation,
Hmm.
and almost like see how you react, coming from this kind of neurology standpoint, I guess, that you want to see human behavior and just how you are, learn more about yourself. So, like, what do you do? What kind of extent to uncomfortable situations would you want to find yourself in? You think?
Um, I think it just depends on. I can't really give you an example of that.
Yeah.
It just depends on like where I'm at in context.
Mm.
So this is not that big of an example, but my wife, we went to Mexico last year, and she would always talk about this like cricket like taco or something like that, taco
Hmm.
that had crickets in it. And I didn't even know anything about it. She's like, basically, eating crickets. I'm like, okay, fine. Like if I end up in that situation where I have to like eat a cricket, or eat something like that, like okay, fine,
Right.
that's where I'm at. Like so
Yeah.
if something's like a custom or if in a place where like this is what we do here
Yeah.
or something like that. Obviously I wouldn't want to end up in a place where like I'm not trying to be at the frying pan hotel. I'm not trying, I'm not trying to like
Come
put
on.
myself in danger. I'm playing mostly, but like
That's funny.
I don't want to put myself like in harm's way. But if it like if it's if somebody I was like, oh, I tried that. This new perspective on something. I think I would go down that route. Yeah.
Hmm. That's yeah, I think
You
that's
are a brave
really
man, by the way. You are a
re-
brave man.
I figured like listen, I don't know, they're gonna helicopter me in. Uh some people have done it before. I mean, technically it is just one guy that's just like running it now. So
Mm.
maybe it is a little scary. My dream hotel, Kelby says. Yeah, Josh is totally
Yeah,
against it. Totally.
yeah,
That's funny you
man.
mentioned that. You'd rather you'd rather eat a cricket than go to the frying pan hotel. I mean, come on, you know.
Well, hey, you have to give me each option.
Right, right. How many crickets and how many nights
You
there,
know.
right? That's really funny. Yeah,
Mm.
I always wonder. I would love to go internationally. I have like a planned, a hope. I would say in the future to kind of like I don't know, 3 months leading up to an international trip, try to learn as much as that language as possible,
Mm.
and then get there and then just like struggle. And I feel, and through that
Mm.
struggle, that being uncomfortable, I'll
Right.
be able to like learn a bit of that language a little bit
Yeah.
more. Um,
Yeah, right.
mhm.
That's pretty much it's funny because like I love that Cesar started his channel in Spanish.
Yeah,
So my wife is Dominican. She's like speaking Spanish with her family and whatnot. So I've been trying to like learn through different programs and whatnot. I'm terrible at it. I even in high school I tried to like learn Spanish. I just like for some reason my brain does not take it in. It's like it's just does not work at all to the speaking.
yeah, mhm.
So I've been trying to like watch his videos and like maybe I could pick up some things in terms of like credit card lingo and whatnot. But yeah, I feel that like really like learn a language before you go somewhere and put yourself in the thick of it and can you pick it up? So
Gotcha. As Cesar is already in here, he's pointing at you right now, telling you nice.
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the only Spanish you need to know in this community is what Richie told us, which is El Credito Uno. Credit one for the win. Uh,
I
yeah, I
feel
know
it.
a
I
great
feel it.
Spanish content creator. Yeah, Cesar. Cesar is it's like official now. He's the best credit card Spanish creator. It's
Man,
number one.
like I wish I can like add more to what I was like like more like in terms of like comment or whatnot. Like I read the subtitles, I got it, but like when I go to type, like, oh, should I, like, I'm struggling on how, like, type, which, is this the right word?
Yeah, right.
But,
Try to do the accent
but
mark
yeah,
and everything. And then you
yeah,
just copy and paste. Yeah.
you know,
That's funny.
but yeah.
Um, have you tried to learn any languages in like I guess when you're in France or some of these other countries?
Yeah, so some of my coworkers are from Paris, from Lyon, places like that. So I
Hmm.
was trying to like learn through them French. Yeah, it's just John. It's just really it's tough, man. but yeah, I was trying to like learn French through them, but Spanish I can at least get down to like the reading and writing, but with
Mm.
French I'm like, there's just no hope for me because like not only do you do you like have a hard time saying the words, but like the way it's spelled is like different than the way the word sounds.
Yeah.
So so like that's like tough. But yeah, I've definitely like I think Spanish is like the main one I'm trying to learn because like it's like really like the relationship to me. But yeah, French is another one I try to get down. And for a short time, for a very short time. I was trying to learn Japanese for a very short
Hmm.
time, but I was like, I need to learn one at a time, like really like get down one before I try to move on to the next
I got that feeling from you.
one. Yeah.
I got that feeling when I was watching some of your stuff or just looking at some of your pictures. I had a
Mm.
feeling that you were interested in like Japanese language. I don't know why. Sometimes I get feelings.
No, I mean,
Um,
I definitely am. I mean, I love the culture with us. That's one of the reasons we're going. Actually, like she was supposed to go back in May 2020. We obviously know why that didn't happen,
yeah.
but but yeah. So like this is like a trip for her, but also like I think a lot of people love like manga, anime stuff like that. So
Mhm.
like beyond that, I don't really know too much about the Japanese culture. But like just to go there and like I know they have a rich history and whatnot, so I definitely want to learn more about that too. So you're not off with that one. I'm definitely interested in Japanese culture.
Gotcha. And you did go there, not you didn't go there? You didn't go to
Not
Japan?
yet. No,
Okay.
nope. I'm going there later in 2024.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That I look forward to that for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Josh is, Josh said he's, learning Spanish and French for work. Calvi said, "French counting makes me laugh and cry." Oh god. Scissors
Yeah.
agrees difficult language. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, but with me with Spanish, like at least like the way things sound, I can write it out. Like how it sounds is how it's spelled
Mm.
for the most part. So like with French though, it's like you know like you say one word and it has like 5 letters at the end of it, and I'm like, what is this? So,
That's funny.
but but yeah.
Gotcha. Um, just want to make sure I got everybody. Scissor. It's always good to learn the following 2 sentences. Where's the bathroom? And F you. It's great. It's a great thing to learn in another language. Um, that's funny. So I so I also wanted to get into trying to see. Well, I can't actually. You know what? I didn't exhaust my curiosity on this yet. So the trips you, so that England trip you did
Mhm,
with that first trip with your now wife. Uh,
mhm.
how long did you stay there? And like where you
Uh,
stayed? Hilton? Oh no, you stayed
no,
Hyatt.
we stay at Hyatt, so we were
Yeah.
there uh 5 days and 4 nights. So yeah, we
Wow.
were there like yeah.
Huh.
So literally, I think we got it was a category five. I think it's Andaz. I don't know how you pronounce that. I think it's
Hmm.
Andaz Hotel. 20K points a night. She had a sign up bonus through Chase, so we literally burned those on all four on 4 nights with 10K to spare. So
Hmm.
to spare, but yeah, that's what we ended up doing.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
And I guess out of all the mhm.
Sorry. So it's a funny tidbit.
Yeah.
So when we did that, her family was like, it's like how can you like go for New Year's? Like they think like we're like rich people or something like that.
Yeah.
Like no, we did it all for free. They still didn't believe it. Still didn't believe it. You're able to do it. On points.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
for free. Should put that in quotes.
Yeah. I just like to put it as like using money I would have spent anyway, and
Yeah.
now getting trips for
Yeah.
free. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't understand how it's possible, which is why
Yeah.
this community is like the best. Um,
Yeah. No,
uh,
I saw
mhm,
a chat put like love is to support this community. I do too. I think like that's the interesting thing to me. Like I first like before I even got into the credit card space of it, I was like trying to like work on personal finance. And there's a lot of like personal finance YouTube stuff out there that's like really toxic, at least in my opinion. Like there's a lot of things you see is like, bro, this is not the best for people. I
yeah.
really don't like it. So this space, though, I think is very welcoming and whatnot for the most part. From what I've seen so far, I should knock on wood.
Well, yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
like I really like as I progress in this community, the more I'm just
Mm,
like, this is like people. Everyone says their own community is the best, but it quite literally is the
mm,
best. I mean, where can you find a community where you can't necessarily lose, right? Like I can
mm.
apply for a card, maybe I just don't hit the welcome offer. Okay, that's that
Oh,
sucks, but usually everyone's
oh,
doing that. I guess my credit score could, but that's not really happening for the people that are watching our stuff. Usually the score is good, income's decent, and the score never really drops. So like, and you
mm,
just at the most normal outcome is you sign up for a card, get the welcome offer, and you can have the possibility of like life changing vacations. Like,
yeah.
what other place can do that? When you're in the finance niche talking about stocks, okay, you could lose everything very easily,
Hmm.
especially depending on
Right.
the advice you're getting. You could make a lot, but it's like a lot of turmoil, a lot of headaches and stuff. You just don't have that here, you
Right.
know.
Now, I would say like, and I don't like hating on the space. I don't. I'm on purpose by saying that. But
Okay.
there is one video type that, like me personally, as a person who's like coming in terms of like getting out of debt himself,
Hmm.
I don't like the raise your credit score in 30 days videos or raise your credit
Oh
score
yeah.
fast videos. Like I am, because like all of these really tell you is literally like, okay, uh, the main things that are contribute to your credit score, your payment history, your credit card utilization, this is all these other things. And okay, so just pay your card down, get the utilization below 30%, and your credit score raise. I'm like, wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing to me. Let me just get more money and like pay down my card. I'm like, yeah, that's a whole different. thing, but
Yeah.
it drives me wild every time I see one of those videos.
Yeah. I hear you because it's like if you're the perfect example, yeah, that it could happen in 30 days. Yeah, there's a lot of people that could do that, depending on
Yeah,
like pay off your car, like Calvi says. Like if I
yeah,
have like $200 or something for some reason, that's my max limit. Pay it off, I'll jump 60 points in a month. Sure,
yeah,
but for most people who are in debt, those require
yeah.
much
Yeah,
longer term.
it's not a sincere. At least okay. I don't. And if anybody makes these type of videos, like, I'm not pointing fingers at you or anything like that. But I personally feel like it's not sincere to the person who's like really in severe debt. Like you're in a lot of debt. That
Yeah.
the people who listen to Dave Ramsey and whatnot, like
Mhm.
that's a real thing, and they're trying to find a way to get out. I think like one of the reasons I don't like making videos about, like, also the fact that I still have my own stuff, but I think there can be a more sincere way of doing that personally.
Gotcha. That's why I kind of like our because I noticed there's a divide on YouTube where we have the credit repair and the high credit
Hmm.
limit people, and then we have the
Yeah,
luxury
that's it.
travel, and
Yeah,
it's interesting how it actually is divided, even though we're all kind of talking about kind of the same thing almost.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
hmm.
50K limits. How about 50K credit limits? I'm like, what the? Why do I need a
What's the
50K limit,
point?
bro?
It's funny because I've made so many of those videos. Well, a few of them.
Like,
I was like, raise your credit limit, or like, here, this card offers like a 10,000 minimum, or some of them like 50,000. But it's like,
but
what's
they
the
do well
point?
though. They
They
do
do very
well.
well.
They
Yeah,
like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get the fact, like, that's going to be very enticing. I get it,
yeah.
but and I don't think I've seen that video from you. But
It's like a year
like,
ago. Yeah.
yeah. But either way, it's like I get it. And maybe if somebody started a business or something like that, maybe. But for
Yeah.
most people, it's not good financial habits. Personally,
Yeah.
that's my personal opinion on that.
Totally. Totally agreed. Um, and yeah, I mean, can I ask you? Because you said you were in maybe a little bit of debt. Could you
Mhm.
talk through how you got out of it?
So I'm getting out of it. I'm getting out of it.
You
I'm
get out
actually
of it?
planning. And like I was telling you, in terms of like there should be a more genuine way of talking about that.
Hmm.
I want to basically show where I'm at, like how I'm getting out of it, and
Yeah.
like use it as like, okay, this is data of like what I'm doing, how long it took me, and whatnot. So like I told you before, like my credit card journey started in 2021,
Yeah.
January 2021. And since that point, I've made a video on it. Apps like Mint.
Hmm.
I've used Credit Karma a little bit, even though like I realized that Credit Karma is more just kind of like sell to me, um, and stuff like that. I also like make my own budget on Excel,
Hmm.
and really trying to like hammer down how much I spend each month, and it's just like little tweaks. Okay, because I think in the beginning for me it was very very tough because like it was a blank page pretty much, and I didn't really know like where to start. But
Hmm.
over the time, it's like, okay, like this is how much I spent this month, tweak the budget this way. This is how much I spent this month. Okay, tweak the budget this way. And like literally, like over that time, I've got down so like rigid, like this is how much money is coming out of my paycheck. It's going to go
Hmm.
to these things every single month. And if I have something left over, great. Um, but obviously, with my wedding, it came up to kind of like sideline a lot of paying off a lot of my debt. Um, but it's not still even my wedding savings, it was the same thing. Okay, like this is how much I got to put aside. And I feel like my habits, it's like really like working on the habit. And once the habit is fixed, then you can really start tackling it. So I think like fixing habits, and not like fixing habits in terms of like, okay, day one I have to have everything I ever paid for down, ready to go. More
Hmm.
so, just okay, I want to start somewhere. I'm starting here, and then over time improve that budget, improve those habits, and then
Hmm.
I'll get to a place where I'm 2 years down the line, and I'm then doing better. And I think the thing for me that makes, I wouldn't say my situation unique, but the fact that like even though I'm doing these things, I'm still able to find ways to travel. I've still been able to find ways to get out and enjoy the world, and like while I'm paying off my debt or while I'm saving money for my wedding or whatnot, and at the same
Hmm.
time. So you don't have to give up life. I think that's a thing for a lot of people. A lot of people like oh, I don't want to give up my way of life or whatnot. You don't have to do that. You can pull back a little bit, find ways in terms of like the credit cards. If you want to go cash back or even you like, you can go cash back and like save money that way, and use that money somewhere else, or you can go for travel. I want to travel. So I think I tell my friends and family, it's so bizarre to me because I tell them like, okay, this is what you can do, and then they see me do it. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And nah, I can't do that, man. It's just not gonna work. Like literally, I got my friend like they had a Capital One venture card. They had it for years, and I was like, "You can get a TSA pre-check for this car." I was like, "Really? I can do it?" Oh, yeah. And they get it, and they're like, "Oh, that's great. I'm glad I was able to get the value back to some degree." And I'm like, "Okay, so you want to try?" So no, I think I'm good with this. This is different. Like, I mean, again, for each person is different. I get that. Some people have a certain tolerances and whatnot. But then they say, "Oh, I want to go here." I'm like, "Bro, I literally just I
Yeah.
just told you how you can get here." So yeah, but
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well, I think that's great. And actually, I wanted to say what John said. So John said, JP is in my head. Having your budget in writing in a spreadsheet is essential and eye-opening when you first start tracking what you spend your money on. And that's, yeah,
yeah.
totally agreed. You really can't know. It's impossible. It's impossible to know how much you're spending money on. Because like a lot of kind of these principles I learned through like the working out world and learning about diet and nutrition. Because like
Hmm.
I couldn't gain weight. I was 125 pounds in freshman year, even sophomore year.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, I can't gain weight. Like, what's the deal? I'm eating so much. Everybody says they're eating so much until you actually track how many calories you're getting, and they're like, oh, okay, so I just have this X amount of calories per day, and then I can gain weight over time. And then, of course,
Yeah,
in that way, we ballooned up to 205 in like 2 years.
yeah.
But,
No, me
but
and you were in the same boat. I was like, oh, I'm a hard gainer or something like
yeah,
that. I really did like. I think like in high school I was like, yeah, like a buck 20 or something like that. And like,
yeah.
but yeah, I feel you on that one.
Same thing with budgeting. Like I was doing that when I started buying food for the calories. I was like, well, how can I get this as cheap as possible? Eventually, getting the budget down to like 120 a month for
Hmm.
like 3,000 calories a day, something like that, for just myself. So it's like you have to write it all down. You have to track everything, or else it
Hmm.
will slip away from you, for
Right.
sure. I think that's great advice. Um, along with some other thing that I don't think people necessarily know about you that I wanted to ask you about was, outside of the credit cards, outside of the PhD, um, I wanted to know about you. I guess you have a side passion for like photography.
Yes, yes. I so before photography has been like one of my loves for a very long time. I've actually tried. You can probably find my YouTube channel. So I tried the YouTube channel. I won't give you the name of it, but if you
Okay,
if you want to
JP
like find
photography.
me, yeah, if you want to find me on that one, they can definitely look at that. But yeah, no, I've been doing that for I started in 2015, so I guess 8 years working on that.
Hmm, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Enjoyed it a
And
lot.
I could tell by just the
Yeah.
aesthetics of all your shots. It clicked to me. I was like, how is he so good with just these shots, these angles? And then I go on your page and I'm like, oh, you have an Etsy store and you sell some of your shots and everything. So what is it
Yeah.
to you? Like, what does photography kind of mean to you? Is it just, I don't
Uh,
know, reframing the world in your image, or what do you think?
so it's interesting. So for me, photography is, I guess it goes back to the brain. So I actually learned, I actually got into photography from a college professor, actually. Close, John,
Yeah,
actually.
JP photography.
I will say that's very close.
Oh my god.
um, wow. But no, I learned from my college professor about photography. So he had a thing called, uh, what do you call it? How do you call it? I think it was like mental health break or something like that. And for me, it was really just like I, I would I would like show people what I saw. And I can never you can never really show people how you see things. Like everybody has eyes, everybody can like for if you're not blind or obviously, but like most people can see the world to some degree. But we all see it differently. So for
Hmm,
me, photography was a way to show what I see from my not just how I see it, but like how I envision it, how I
hmm,
envision the scene, like the feeling I had from that, and that was an outlet. That was an outlet to allow me to do that. So that's what really was for the most part. But also, it was therapy. Like for me, it was really therapeutic to like you're just there with the scene, like mainly for landscape photography. But you're there and you're trying to find a way to convey what you're seeing.
hmm,
And you're starting that obviously with the what you see with observation, you're taking the shot, but also you're going into post production and cleaning up the image and whatnot. So that's pretty much what it means to me. So it's a way of conveying what I see to the world, but also at the same time, a therapeutic way of just like allowing myself to like slow down, be in the moment, and just enjoy what's around me. Again, kind of like it ties back in again to the travel part. Everything ties in together. Like it's
Hmm.
all like all these parts of me are all. That's why I love this space, because like I can literally bring all of that together into one outlet.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
that's why I think I'm so I don't know. That's why I like it so much. I had to say, Don Kim made me laugh. He said, JP can show you the world from a new perspective. Shining, shimmering, splendid.
So I actually made a video on the United Explorer card, and that was my original title.
Is it
What's it
really?
called? It was like that was my original title. Like it was like I had a whole Aladdin theme going on.
Oh my god. Mr.
But yeah.
JP Aladdin. That's the next channel. Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah.
No, that's so interesting. Yeah. I think in my mind, if you're a photographer, I think you're just by nature an observer of people, which is
Hmm.
kind of why your job is, what you chose your job to be, just kind of observe people, like wonder what's going on. Um,
Right.
do you think maybe a little more personal, but you think you've always kind of been that way? Do you ever just stare at people, or just do those kind of things? Not creepy, but
No, no,
yeah.
no. It's funny you bring it up. And then my wife on our first date, she was like, "Why are you staring at me like that?"
Really?
So I have this very like I didn't know it, but I have this very intense stare where I'm looking like I'm not trying to do it, but like in her mind it's like I was like analyzing her in
Yeah.
a way. I mean,
Wow.
lucky she went on a second date with me, but
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, no, like I think I always have. I think I always like have been curious about just like what people are doing and why they're doing the things they're doing. And yeah, I think I've pretty much I've always been that way.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. I can feel that because I'm very similar. Where I never had I never stared at a date like that. Just a huge eye. but
yeah.
I I have been known to just kind
Yeah.
of like I remember I was in might have been fifth grade, I think maybe fifth or sixth
Mm,
grade. I remember some girls were laughing because I was just staring at them, and they thought I
mm,
was like staring at them. But I remember one girl was like very aware, and she was like, "No, no, he does that to everybody. Like he's looking at guys, looks at girls, he just looks at them, like just like actually just get lost and look like what do you do? Like what's going on? Like wait, I don't know. People are funny, so if you look long enough, they do something funny." Um,
yeah.
John said, "I'm not a photographer, but I took over 1,000 pictures during my Iceland vacation in September. For me, it's about capturing every moment." Wow, a
Yeah.
1,000 pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one, John. I think like for me, it's become more of that recently, and not really with my camera, but more so like with my phone. Like I try to capture every moment now, like every time I hang out with friends or whatever. Like I definitely feel that.
It's funny, because as at least when I was growing up, it's at least when phones kind of started coming out with cameras and stuff, they were like, it became a point where it's like, don't take pictures when you're on vacation because you're not in the moment. Got to be in the moment.
Mm,
Don't take out your phone. But now it's like with all of these, well, at least Apple has their like AI take all of your videos and create like a memory from it, and it's
hmm
like a nice 2 or 3 minute video. I find like a reason to take the phone out and take a picture of it because eventually, like, yeah, I don't know, maybe you're losing the moment for like that half a second, but
hmm
at least the memories will live for a lifetime in that
Yeah.
little AI generated thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have these YouTube channels, like I'm editing one before I came here on the Vegas trip, doing a full, like, full Vegas trip video. And I'm like, man, I'm re remembering things that happened because I just pulled my phone out randomly. Let me just get
hmm
some B roll.
hmm
And now I'm putting it in the video, which will last
hmm
for eternity, as long as YouTube
hmm
stays around, knock on wood. Um,
hmm
so I love it for that. I love it for that. Even if you're not a
Yeah.
content creator, you could just have like a second, just take some clips,
Yeah.
make a nice little memory from it. It's yeah, as Woodsy said, so many
Yeah.
memories being made at this moment, right now.
Exactly. Like it's crazy. For my wedding, like I can't really remember the day. Like it's really
Wow.
hard for me to remember like it was like an out like when I see pictures of like my wedding, it's like an outer body experience. Like
Hmm.
I wasn't really there, but I was like watching. But still, like but having that memory, it's having that photo to like trigger that memory, like kind of like you were saying, it is great. And I think
Yeah.
for me, like I don't have anything from like I didn't take many pictures as a kid. so I don't really have many pictures of me as a kid.
Mm.
So like, yeah, it was great. I was living in the moment, but like I don't know that moment now.
Yeah.
So so like great, but I'd like to preserve. Again, like I think like when you're going to a concert or something like that, don't have your phone on the entire concert, but like
Right.
you can have snippets, just to kind of remember that.
Hmm. Woodsy said there is a random let's make stories moment here at the Thrills house right now. Oh, at the Mills house. Oh, he's at the Mills house in Charleston at the moment.
Oh, nice.
He's having a good time. He's been posting about it. Yeah, it's a good hotel. John said I have the flagship Samsung phone and 4 cameras in it, and the iPhone and the
Mm,
Pixel phones are good too. They're insanely good. I took every picture of the A23 Ultra. I've been hearing other
nice.
phones are better with their cameras and stuff, other than Apple. I don't know.
Yeah. Like Apple just like engulfed my entire world now. Like literally my Mac, my phone, and everything. Just the syncing part for me is just too. It's just too good. I know other
Mm,
things can sync together, but like the syncing of like all my different apps and or not apps, my different tech and whatnot, like it's just too good to let go. At
so
least right
Apple.
now. Yeah, Apple pretty much everything. It's like I remember I for the longest time I did not want to get into Apple, but when I got my I had a MacBook, I got a phone to go with it. So let me just see. And the syncing like across things and whatnot, I was like, oh, this is great. This
Hmm.
is great.
Yeah,
But
it's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, what do you record with your channel?
my phone.
Do
I
you
use my
really?
phone. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
man.
So yeah, I use my phone. So it's funny. So I had the iPhone 7 for like 8 years. I did not want to like, upgrade, and I was gonna use that to record my channel stuff. I was like, this quality is just too bad. So I ended up recently this year actually, because also my phone batteries like wasn't working anymore. So I ended up getting like upgrades to iPhone 14, and I record basically in cinematic mode and just call it a day.
Dude,
Um,
dude, we are
yeah.
the exact same. Like, I'm like, are we, like, who, am I you right now? Am I Anthony Buffett? What the hell? Literally the exact same. I had the iPhone 8 for 5.5 years. I didn't want to upgrade. I
Yeah,
said, I'm not doing it. Went to
yeah,
start the channel. I said it was horrible, so I got the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and that's what I
yeah,
record on now. That is so
yeah,
funny. And I did
yeah,
cinematic originally, and then I was like, oh wait, this is a lot of data. It's like it's
yeah.
pretty
That's
big.
like the one problem with cinematic. I mean, I actually bought a couple of like external hard drives just like put the other stuff on. But yeah, like and like also transferring it over. I eventually want to move to like an actual like camera, so it can be more seamless. But for
Hmm.
right now, we'll see where this goes.
I don't think I'll ever get rid of my phone. I don't know. It's just too
Yeah,
easy. I just record,
yeah,
okay,
that's
airdrop to
fair.
the iPad, and then
Yeah.
boom, just start. I will say, the way you can save memory if you haven't done it already is
Hmm.
I stopped. Well, I didn't do it, but I was like, I could do this if I wanted, but I would stop cinematic mode because then you're not filming in like craziness, and take up that much memory. You just film normally, and then in your software, just you can change the depth of view or depth of field,
Hmm.
and you can make it blur in the background after the fact, and then you save on
Oh.
how big the space
Hmm.
is. Um,
I never thought about doing it actually. That's pretty. Let's try it out actually.
yeah, I don't know what
So you
your
are
software is, but mhm.
wait. So wait, you says on the phone you're still recording in like just regular video mode and then making it blurry afterwards, or did I miss
E
that part?
Well, I don't do it anymore because I at least in my setup, there's no need to really blur because like nothing here.
Hmm.
But if I
Hmm.
were to do it, yeah, I would just record my normal, whether I want to do 4K or if I just want to do the 1080p like I normally do, then I would
Hmm.
just throw that into my software, my CapCut,
Oh,
and I
okay, okay,
can
okay, okay.
for that you can just change the background. You could just blur the background via some of their stuff. But
Yeah,
I think other apps
that's
do it
fair.
too, where it's either like, oh, blur background and it's immediate, but I think some softwares you can change the depth of field to where it will blur the background.
Right,
The same as I think it's 2.3 on the iPhone, which is like the most attractive depth of field
right.
how cinematic films in, but
Huh.
it would
Yeah,
save a lot of
might try that
data, I
one
think,
day.
for
Yeah, I think
sure.
I might try it for one of my next videos actually. See how
Hell
it
yeah.
works.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Um, so wait, there was that. I just wanted to make sure I had everything that I wanted. Yeah, or at least wanted to know about. Um, there's something else that I can't remember at the moment. What else did I want to talk about? I forgot. Oh, what's he said? Oh, what's he said? Oh wow. Oh yeah, you were talking about Rakuten earlier.
Oh, I
Woodsy,
love Rakuten, man. Like,
jeez, I
uh,
haven't used it
it,
yet.
Like Rakuten, like literally, I started using Rakuten before I even like started like making YouTube videos. Like I
Hmm.
it was yeah. I started using Rakuten actually 2 years ago, in like a week, it's like 2 years ago, and
Wow.
I got my wife using it. I still see my friends and family use it because they're like, oh, it's a scam. I'm like, it's not. Like, all of these things I've gotten, it's not a scam. Oh my
Right.
god.
Right.
Like, like, oh my god! Even like people talk about, oh, they're trying to get for the affiliate links. I'm like, no, like you don't use my affiliate link. Just go there and save yourself some money. It has nothing to do with affiliate. It's
Yep.
literally a gold mine.
Right. It's funny, yeah. It's funny when you mention the affiliate link and people are, like when you're talking to them face to face, they might get a little weird with it, and you think like you're taking something from them. It's like
Yeah.
literally nothing. Like you
Yeah.
get the same
No.
exact thing.
Oh my God. Oh, you actually reminded me of something. So, my wife got the gold card, and she was trying to like kind of evangelize to her friends, like, oh, you should get the Amex Gold card. Here is, if you do, I'm gonna get here. I have a referral link. Just use that. You kind of like give me a kickback, whatnot. And
Mhm.
the person went and signed up for the gold card, but they didn't use her link. And they said they didn't use her link because they thought it was going to take away from them. They thought the point she was going to get was going to like take away from
Wow.
their points.
Yep.
And I'm like, first off, that's dirty. You might have been known to get the card if like oh, it's great, I love the card, but I use your link because I'm like, oh, come on now. So yeah, I listen, like for before again, before I got into everything, like YouTube, whatnot, I thought the same thing for a while. I was like, oh, they're just trying to like market something to me. They don't really care about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
for certain things, like I really feel like if you're, especially if somebody's using it, like if you like, I use Rakuten a lot, it's really a great service. I can't say enough about it. Like I personally love Rakuten. That's
Wow.
my plug over. My plug over. It's like no. Okay, actually, no, one
Soapbox.
more thing. One more thing. One more thing.
Mhm.
This is how much I love Rakuten. The fact that every Amex card can earn MR points. When I started using Rakuten, it was the exact same time I got my Amex Everyday card, no annual fee version. Um, and I was able to link that with my no annual fee card and get Amex points that way. So anytime I can, like, I think I bought a watch. It was like a $900 watch or something like that. It was like a birthday gift or something like that to myself. I love watches, by the way. But I got it through. I got it through. Who was it through? It was some jewelry. I don't remember the name of the jewelry store. But anyways, they were on Rakuten. They had a 20% bonus or 20% cash back,
Mhm.
which, if you know, 20x basically. So $900 times 20x, 18,000 Amex points. And I got 3 months later, 18,000 Amex points in my account, no annual fee. No annual fee at all. So you don't need any. You don't need a gold card. You need a green card. You need a platinum card to get the points. If you want, you take no annual fee card, put you with your Rakuten, you're good to go. Like Amex points for whatever you buy. Well, most things you buy. They used to have like gift cards, which got me a lot more value. They don't have them
Mhm.
anymore, but still, it's great.
Wow. That's pretty wild. That's
Yeah,
the best thing I've heard so far
it's
on
it's it's it's, it's
Rakuten.
it's literally it's insane. It's honestly insane. Like I mean, the one caveat is sometimes you do have to like put in it like you bought something. So all I have to really do is like copy paste whatever email I got from like in terms of confirmation, send it to Rakuten, and usually within 30 minutes they give me the points, and I obviously have to wait every quarter. But yeah, I don't want to make this a whole like Rakuten evangelizing thing, but like I personally I can't say enough about it. I think it's great.
That's wait, so what happens there? Like if sometimes it maybe doesn't go
Yeah,
in correctly?
so sometimes like the company like doesn't report to Rakuten that you
Mm.
got the points. So all you have to do really is like tell Rakuten, okay, like every email you get, there's like an order number or whatnot. You take the order number, you put it in there, you basically copy paste whatever the receipt was. And usually for most places, within a couple of minutes, they'll just say, oh, this place usually tells us soon, but like we trust you. Here's your points. And
Wow.
like they can do that obviously also because like they pay you
Hmm.
out quarterly, so they can verify on the back end that you even got the points,
Hmm.
which is great. There's some hotels who do it. Like I don't like going Hilton through Rakuten because like Hilton has been very shady and giving me the actual Rakuten points personally. I use like Expedia or like one of the other ones. So like I think recently I actually did a trip. I think it was the public hotel one that I did recently. I did a video on it. But anyways, that one I was able to book through Expedia for a certain number of points. And I think I had my green card plus the Expedia points. I think it was like 13x
Wow.
altogether. So it's like, John, I'm not to see.
The
I have a
CEO of
vested interest. I
yeah,
have a vested interest in
that's
Rakuten.
right. That is so
Oh man,
funny. God, is that your
yeah.
soapbox? Is Rakuten the
Yeah,
soap?
yep,
That's
I'm coming down now. I'm coming down. Listen,
coming
man,
down.
if you haven't used it yet, man, I am telling you.
Hey, you do make a great ambassador. I feel like I'm like, I don't know, like everybody's been telling me I need to do it. Like, a few people like you haven't done it, you idiot. So I
uh,
don't know. I'm slowly getting
JP
JP
Rakuten,
Rakuten.
Josh.
Just change the channel name. That's it. Yeah.
Ah man, dude, like, listen, I was actually gonna make a video on Rakuten for the holidays and like put out the affiliate link, but like, it's part of me is like, people are just so afraid of it that like it just doesn't. As much as I try to like talk to even my friends and family about it, like I also and it's weird because like I'm in a weird place where like my channel doesn't have that many subscribers, and I don't want to be where, and obviously I would say like, subscribers not the biggest thing, but like I don't want to be in a place where like people feel like you're just selling to me. All
Yeah.
you're doing is selling to me. And like I feel weird saying, oh, there's a link below or stuff like that. But like, like even if I truly believe in it, I don't want people to say like, oh, I can't trust. I think I actually saw this recently on a Reddit post. This is kind of a little bit tangent, but like it was one of the Amex subreddits, and the guy was like, oh, where can I find? If you're in here, bro, I do apologize to you. Actually, not really. I'll apologize. What you said should have been said. But anyways, the guy was like, oh, where can I find good information about credit cards? Because every person on YouTube is basically has their affiliate link to like to get something. So they're obviously I can't trust what they're saying.
Hmm.
Now, there's two things wrong with that. The first thing in my mind that's wrong with that is that you don't have to get the card, bro. Like it's not like you don't have to use their link. You can go somewhere else and not use
Yeah.
their link. Like, oh, you gave me some information. I'm gonna go on the website myself and get the card. And two, you can look it up for yourself. This information we're giving out there is free for the most part. It's one
Yeah.
person's opinion. You can also read, like yeah, Josh put there. You can read the terms and conditions. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what they were saying. This is actually pretty good for my situation. So I don't like when people say like, oh, you're just trying to sell to me, or oh, it's just your affiliate link. Like if you don't want to use a person's affiliate link, don't use it. But at the same time, you can't like knock what they're saying because it's there. It's right
Yeah.
there. So yeah, that's my thing on that.
Yeah. I think what I don't know. We're so in a culture of or almost kind of coming out of it. It almost feels like, but at least for
Mhm.
the last 3 years of everyone pushing every link that they could possibly imagine. Uh,
Yeah,
Mostly coming from the
yeah,
finance niche, like the
yeah,
Weeble and all these like stock stuff and
yeah,
whatnot. Um,
yeah,
so I think they're coming out of that and just like whatever they're pushing me is definitely tainted by just
yeah,
a sponsorship or something like that.
yeah,
But I guess the main thing is just finding someone who seems trustworthy. I guess I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. But then again, you have
yeah.
no idea who they are behind the
Right.
camera.
No,
But
yeah.
yeah,
There was one channel which won't be named, but I can just tell he was like trying to sell. There's ones you can tell like they're talking about stuff, and like it was also like a fine like a true like stock finance channel. They
yeah,
talk about all the candlesticks and what. I'm like, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. You literally have no idea what you're talking about. Then you say at the end like here's my like you said like Weeble or MooMoo or whatever the
yeah,
app is today. Um, but yeah,
yeah. I hear you.
that's my 2 cents on that.
In my mind, I think you should make the Rakuten video as long as it's something that it's like you're not signing up for like a paid service that the person won't value, and you're like putting your brand behind it. It's like
Yeah,
I don't see the harm because at least you're just putting it out there. And like you said, if they choose to use it, then they choose to use it. If not, then they're not forced to do anything like that. Like something like an affiliate link where you're not losing anything and you're not paying anything for it.
right,
You
right.
know, that's when I think it gets a little uh, weird when it's like a paid service. Which
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, listen again. I have no problem with people like doing sponsored content. Listen, bro. Like, people, I think like this is something funny. And I'm not trying to take shots at anybody or anything like that. But I think that if somebody provides a service, the service isn't free. Like if you're getting
yeah,
something for free, they would say like you are the product at that point.
Yeah.
And you know, and yeah, like somebody's giving you something, like it's fine. Like it's a technically a free thing. Like it's not like you can pass it if you want to. Yeah. Let me stop. I'm getting
It's too
beyond.
deep, yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
I want to. Okay, so do you? It's funny. Uh, Great conversation so far. But do you want to get into the Discord questions?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's starting to get dark out for me. Of course,
Uh,
unreal. I'm gonna have to.
it's literally nighttime here right now. Like literally, it's super dark.
Where are you?
I'm in New York.
Oh, well, I'm in South
Like
Carolina.
literally, like let me hold on. Let me just don't show my entire room, but I can hold on 1 second.
I didn't fully know you were in New York. Wow.
Yeah, you can see it. Oh, there's those
Oh my
close. There you
God.
go.
What
Yeah,
the
there
hell?
you go. Yeah, it's like super. It's super dark here, man.
Why?
Hope you guys
Why is New York
see my
darker
dirty
than
room.
here? That doesn't make. Why
uh,
is it? What the hell?
not exactly. I mean, well, I guess it's the curvature of the Earth. I would assume. Like, so probably get darker here a little bit sooner because the light's not.
Oh, so you don't believe in flat Earth then?
I try. You know.
The world is round, Josh. Josh immediately yawned. The world is round, Anthony. That's funny. So the first question on the Discord, before we get into flat Earth, um, New York is closer to the East Coast, even though we're in the same time zone. That's crazy, man. I didn't know that. So first question in the Discord from Cesar Joel, who we talked about earlier. He asked, "What's your next credit card? What's the one you're looking to get?"
My next credit card, that's a tough one. I did a whole video about how I did not like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, or I think it's overhyped. But if I
Yeah.
had a chance, that would be my next credit card, only because I really like Hyatt hotels. Not even the two simple point. I just really like Hyatt hotels. I feel like unless Wells Fargo comes out with transfer partner to Hyatt,
Hmm.
or like I want the sign up bonus to get to transfer there. I just do because like it's easy. It's simple. I want to stay at that Park Hyatt that Chad was talking about in New York
Yeah.
to see what it's about. Since I'm here anyways.
Hmm.
So that would be my next card if I had like all things aligned. But uh, realistically, uh, probably the ISG, either the business card or the what's it called, or the personal card,
Hmm.
career card. Um, I I stayed at a couple of Holiday Inns. I really enjoyed them,
Hmm.
and that's like I'm like if your lower tier product is this good, at least for me, like you're higher. I would assume your higher tier product probably good. And I think the card's solid. I think it's a solid card. I think Sledge did a video about it recently. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is a pretty. I mean, I did a video about it before, like when I first started my channel, but that wasn't. Don't watch that.
Okay.
But I think it's a solid card. I think I would want to like definitely test drive it for a year, see what type of value I can get out of it. So my next card will probably
Not bad. Not bad. I think we'll see more and more people talking about it in the future. I could feel
yeah.
it. Um, Speaking of, you said you kind of had some issues with the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I think it's a little bit overhyped. Matt Clausen in the Discord also asked, how would both of you redesign the Chase Sapphire Preferred to make the card worth it, you think?
I'll let you go first on that one. I'll
Come
let you go
on, man.
first now.
How would I read it? Because I did talk about the same thing, like overrated, maybe over a year ago. I talked about it was like whatever. It's like a whatever card. And then more recently, in my recent video, kind of talked about how the
Mhm.
chasing preferred or chase
I,
sapphire
I
reserve
I
was
I
making
I
it way
love that
better.
video, by the way, because I didn't really know anything about the Chase business preferred, so
Hmm.
that was really like helpful to me to like learn about that because like I knew about the other two cars, cash and the
Unlimited.
oh yeah, Ink Unlimited, and like so like I didn't really know much about the preferred, so like, that was nice. I did enjoy that video.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I was learning about it as I was making it. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. It's got like a lot of different things that I could possibly actually use for like business spend and all that. Maybe non-business spend too, but who knows? Anyway, how would I redesign? I mean, uh, the problem is you'd have to get rid of the overlapping categories for it to have any more potency, or you would just have to up something. Like I
Hmm.
don't know. There's so many different ways. I mean, if had you just added or replace the online grocery with just the standard grocery, like
Mm-hmm.
a U.S. supermarket, like an Amex Gold, something like that, immediately you'll drive a good amount of people to the card in and itself, just for
Mm-hmm.
using the
Mm-hmm.
points, like a 3x for grocery, because immediately that will make a lot of the other chase cards kind of obsolete to get in that place. Um, you could get a 5x on any of the other, unlimited stuff like that. So I don't know. Probably that alone, I bet, would be enough to kind of stimulate some interest. Of course, you could
Right.
just say, like, I don't know, I would up the hotel credit to $100 at least, and that would also entice like great credit. I would end up using the $100 credit, but that's a little too hard, I guess, at the
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
What do
Okay.
you think?
Okay. So you pretty much hit on a lot of the things I was thinking about. So the first one would be I would keep it at 3x, but
Hmm.
I would change the grocery from online to U.S. grocery stores.
Yeah.
That'd be the first thing I would do. I would get rid of the overlapping drugstore category,
Hmm.
and dining. I would either increase by a point or I would get rid of on the card. I think both the Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited have 3x on. I think they all actually have 3x on dining or
Hmm.
3% on dining. I
Yeah.
believe that's the case. Um, I would either up it to 4x on dining, which I don't think they would do, or I would get rid of it and up and have 3x on travel. 'Cause I think it's right now it's just 2x on
Yeah.
travel
Yeah.
purchase. I would also have the hotel credit be up to $100 because even so Sean, some of my players see my video I made on that. She's like, "Wait, what? They actually have there's a hotel credit?" I'm like, exactly. That's why I said she didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
So but she's like $50. Like, what am I going to do with that? Like, exactly. What would you do with that? So what I would do is I would do something similar to City, where I would increase to $100, but I have a criteria where, like, because I mean, the company has to, like, head their things. So I would increase it
Yeah.
to maybe like $300-400 hotel. I think $300 hotel is a sweet spot where, like, I would pay $300 for a hotel stay and get the $100 back. So that way I can get the full use of the credit, maybe $5 back on top of it. That right there to me alone, that to me alone, especially if you're saying it's for travel, by itself would make the car much better. I don't think you have to change anything else. I mean, I would still change the online grocery because I feel like that is just a gimmick. Saying, "Oh, we have groceries." Like, who the hell is buying groceries online regularly? Like, I'm sure people buy groceries online, but like regularly buying groceries online, and paying that extra fee for Instacart or whatever you're paying it for. I don't think it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would do though. That's what I would
If they were to up it to like $100 hotel credit and some of the other things, what would be the max annual fee you would pay? Like 125, 150?
No, if they up it to $100, I'll still only pay $95. Okay, if they upped it to that, in the end they did the other changes had like 4x on travel or 4x on like travel and whatnot,
Hmm.
then I would probably pay 150.
Hmm.
I will pay 150 because I have 4x on travel, which rivals any Amex card you have.
Yeah.
I have now $100 credit, which I'm sure I can use the full value of, and on top of that, I can still get UR points. So I'm sure the difference, where I'm getting in terms of, let's say I'm going to the portal, I'm getting the UR points on top of it for the travel. So yeah, I'll pay 150 if they had that plus the travel.
Hmm. Gotcha. Actually, Josh said 3x mobile wallet. Yeah, that seems to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would do that too. That would actually be a game changer. Honestly, I'll PayPal everything.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly, yeah, really.
uh, like, like, yeah, easy.
Yeah. Um, well, we answered it earlier, but Ravness asked you about the Frying Pan Hotel. You're pretty much a no on that.
No, listen. I if if it was an experience and I'm doing it with other people, maybe it had to be a group thing. It can't just be me. It has to be like me and four buddies, and we're all going together. Because I'm not like, even my wife. I wouldn't just take her. I was like, it's me and a few of my friends, my guys. We're going. But I couldn't do it by myself.
No, the problem is the more people you have, the more likely it is to collapse. So it's like, what are you gonna?
Oh yeah, sure,
That's
that's
the.
fair.
Oh, that's why I'm gonna start losing weight by the time I hit 10K.
Oh man.
That's so funny. Um, Abdullahi, we did get into your question earlier and how he felt about being a part of the JP family. He said he likes JP knowledge and he's gotten a lot of knowledge from him. Josh said, "I need a lifeboat assigned just to me if I somehow found myself in that crazy place." That's funny. Also, I guess if the oh yeah, Matt Clausen, which I thought was interesting. Uh, if you were to imagine a premium travel Wells Fargo card, do you have
Hmm.
any ideas of what that would kind of look like in your
A
mind?
premium travel Wells Fargo card. Okay, well, first, it can't have an annual fee higher than 395. And the reason it can't have a higher annual fee than 395 off the bat, for right or wrong, whatever reason, Wells Fargo has a terrible, what's it called, image right now. I think it's overblown personally, but
Mhm.
it's the image they have. So to get goodwill, you can't have an annual fee that's rivaling the Chase Sapphire Reserve. It just doesn't, or higher than Capital One. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Insurance, yeah. Mhm.
So that would be the first thing. Secondly, I think it would have to have some type of lounge access. The lounge access, because everybody like wants that. Like, so I think priority pass is easy for people to get. I think that's like it's going to be the thing. Either that and or what's it called, Plaza Premium lounges.
Yeah.
I would be like the route I would go with that. Um, I would I would have TSA PreCheck on there. I think TSA PreCheck Global Entry is again, this is like pretty standard travel card thing.
Mhm.
Um, I would have I would have some type of. I don't think any other card really does it. I think it's like program. No, I think City does it actually with their Premier card, maybe with the Prestige. But I would have an elevated transfer rate to a partner. So I have,
Mm.
let's say, a partner with American Airlines or something like that. I would, instead of having 1-to-1, I would have 1.5 to 1 or something like that. So that way, getting that card gives you a boost in the points you can transfer.
Hmm.
Um, or I would have something similar to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, where I have a boost inside the portal. So I'd have a
Yeah.
1.5 boost inside the portal. That would be something I would do. In terms of multipliers, I would have. I think it makes sense to have something above the autograph card, so I'd have probably 4x on travel. Maybe
Mm.
5x on travel. Let's go 5x on travel. General travel. I wouldn't make it airlines and whatnot. I would make it
Yeah.
general travel. I would give somebody, or I would give a person an extra if they book through the portal. So similar to how Chase has a 10x inside the portal,
Yeah.
I would make a 10x on flights also. I think Chase only has 5x on flights, so I'd make it a little more
Mhm.
enticing on flights and hotels. After that, I would have, I think, I think 3 or 4x on dining would be great. And the last thing I would have is I don't know, because I wouldn't really want to be an everyday card. Because I think that cannibalizes your other cards when you have an everyday driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll just keep it there. I'll just keep it like 5x on 4 or 5x on general travel, a higher multiplier if you book to the portal, and maybe a dining category. And
Hmm.
that would be. I wouldn't put too much on it, because I feel like we start putting too much on it, it doesn't justify my 395 annual fee. That's that's
Yeah.
that's the issue. So maybe some credits, maybe, but
Mm.
I don't know what the credit would really be personally. Because like people probably say like a travel credit, like general travel credit or something like that. Again, similar to Chase or Capital. I don't really like Capital One. I think people are like, oh, you're only paying. Don't get me started on the Venture X. Every video I see on the Venture X, I just want to pull my hair out because I'm like, oh,
Uh,
you're only it's a $5. They're paying you $5. They're not. They're not
yeah.
paying you $5. But I'll have something like a general travel in terms of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So if that would be my card, that would be my card. I feel like it should have a higher annual fee from what everything I just said, but I would need to have some trust in Wells Fargo as a company before that happens.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, that's interesting for sure. And yeah, I hear you with the Capital One. I think yeah, Cesar was the first one, or not maybe not first one, but he talked about it on our podcast together. He says, just because the Venture X is like I guess easy to justify doesn't mean it's like actually a good card. It's like people
Yeah.
people people misinterpret that. Um,
Yeah,
that
that's what,
was
that's what I love. That's why I love. Like I think Sledge was the first one that I heard this from. He's basically saying like,
mm,
you know, my wallet doesn't care about effective annual fees. I'm like, yes,
yeah, it's true.
I give a damn about effective annual fees, bro.
Honestly, oh yeah. Um, Also, I was curious about this because I guess I don't know this about you, but maybe I don't know. But Matt Clausen said, "Is the JetBlue business card worth it?"
100%, hundred
Hmm.
percent. That's I I will go out. Listen, man. I will say right now, I love JetBlue. Like this is one of my
Oh,
favorite uh my favorite airlines, domestic airlines. I would say. I think they don't get enough love. I think people are too hung up on Delta and United and American Airlines
hmm,
for right or wrong because they're the biggest airlines because they have the most like what's it called the most range, what's it called
notoriety.
reach and whatnot.
Oh,
Exactly,
yeah,
all of that. I mean that's one of the reasons Delta's having trouble with their lounges right now.
yeah.
But the JetBlue business card, the JetBlue business card is going under the radar. It has one of the best perks ever. Group A boarding. Like I know a lot of people say like, oh, like when you sit on a plane and you're like one of the first people sitting there, and you got an Airbus like you just wait, like you have to wait, like get in the line, like just sitting there, you're on the plane ready to go. That I would pay $100 for that perk alone. Like I would pay to be able to sit on the plane already by itself. And yeah, the fact that it's issued from Barclays might be one of the one of the problems also. But like JetBlue Business Card, it's better than the personal card. Now, the personal card is okay, but the JetBlue Business Card is like literally. I think for me, it's an ARS tier card. Like $99
Wow.
annual fee. You get 5,000 points annually. What's called 5,000 points every anniversary year. Which basically, if you value that, at, I value it higher, but like if you value it at the average 1.4 cents per point, you know, then you're I don't know, I can't do the calculation, maybe $60, something like that,
Hmm.
whatever the value will be. On top of that, you get a 10% kickback, which multiplies that even higher. So you're getting value back just being able to hold the card. Then you're getting Group A boarding on top of that. You have uh, all the other, but oh yeah, the 50% back in flight purchases, which the regular card has also.
Wow.
Like I think the highest you get back in terms of like Delta or even United is 20% back. So
Hmm.
like I've literally been in flights. I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get one of the big six. I know that I'm not paying full price. I'm paying half the price
Yeah.
for this. I mean, it's probably still like not worth that, but like, dude, like, yeah, listen, Sky Priority is great, but like when if I can get Sky Priority with a card, like from Delta, like I think John put that up there. If I can get Sky Priority from Delta, that'll be a game changer for me. But the fact that JetBlue Business Card has that just locked in,
Hmm.
I, I personally think is one of the best cards I've seen, and nobody. I think JP Knowledge actually made a video about it. But besides that, I don't think I've seen one video on the JetBlue Business Card, like a sole video like talking about the card itself. Besides JP
Hmm.
Knowledge, I will say he did make a video on
Then you got to do it next for sure.
that.
Sell us all on it. It's funny.
Yeah.
JetBlue is the only other airline I've ever flown other than Delta recently, and I hadn't
Mhm.
only ever flown, I should say, like few different JetBlue flights. Always had a
Mhm.
great experience out in,
Yeah.
I guess it was JFK out there. No, no, Newark. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Growing up, but I
Yes,
mean,
Josh.
naked J people. I was just thinking that. But JetBlue's nice, very clean, very
Yeah.
easy process. I love their little like terminals when you first walk in to do the check bags.
Hmm.
They have like I never saw that when I was at least flying at that time. Any other places doing that? I like JetBlue. Yeah, I always like them.
Yeah, they're
Um,
solid. I mean, listen, if they get that merger with Spirit, which I think will happen, like
hmm,
this is what I see happening with JetBlue within the next 5 years. I see them merging with Spirit. I see them having a bigger footprint internationally, and I see them becoming a member of One World. They already have they try code sharing with American Airlines. They now have this partnership with Qatar where you can basically get the JetBlue mint for a cheap price and using the JetBlue points.
hmm,
And Qatar is part of One World already. I really
yeah.
see JetBlue becoming a member of One World within the next 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Bold prediction, man. Yeah, I want to. We'll come back to this.
yeah,
That would be really cool, though. Yeah, I would love
yeah.
to see that. Ooh, I think actually the last, or not the last, second to last, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe third last. I don't know. If you want to just do this one fairly quick, up to you.
Yeah.
Richie asked setup recommendations for a beginner, intermediate, and late game player. So I guess maybe like
Ooh.
2 or 3 cards
Uh,
each. Hmm.
so I'm relatively new in the game, so I
Hmm.
can't really give too many recommendations.
Yeah.
I would say go to Luke or go to Chad or go to somebody else who's like, really in it. But beginner, I think any no annual fee card would be great. That gives like transfer points. So I would say the everyday card. I think it's great. If you match it with Rakuten, also it's really good.
Hmm.
Plus, uh, damn, that's a tough one. Um, yeah, I would go that. I'll go the route idea. Everyday card, some airline card that you like flying with for be it Delta or something like that, and maybe
Mhm.
a hotel card. That'll be my first 3 cards, just to like have something that has transferable currency, have something that has um what's it called, a check bag or something like that, which I really don't like doing. It has to have like
Hmm.
hotel status potentially. So I would maybe go like if I was doing Amex, I'll go the Amex everyday card. I would go Delta Gold card, and I would go the Hilton either Hilton No on Your Feet or Surpass card. I was just starting out. Intermediately, I'm gonna go Chase on this side. I would go. I would do the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I would not do or the E Preferred. I would do one of those two. I
Hmm.
would not do I would do the preferred if I'm going to transfer like change it later here
Yeah.
immediately. I would go. I would try to pick up the 2 Freedom cards, Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Flex,
Hmm.
and just have like I know I think Slayer said you don't like trifectas, but that's what I would be in terms of doing something like that. The last one, the in-game one, this is actually I was trying to make a video. This is really hard for me to do because like there's so many caveats. But a
Yeah.
setup, and I guess I was gonna make a video on this, but somebody can steal it if they really want to. But the in-game would be for me, it would be it's tough because Caesar's gonna grill me if I get it wrong. It would probably be the I'll do the Chase Sapphire Reserve over the Amex Platinum right now. I know people are going to go against me. I'll go that. I would go again the 2 Freedom cards that have the most amount of ultimate reward points. I would also add in. It would be a 6 card setup. It would be those 3 cards. I would add in the Amex Green card because I love that card. Also because it gives me the clear credit. So that card now
Hmm.
pays for itself plus $30,
Yeah.
which I'll use clear anyways. I would also add in the if I was single and I didn't have that many people with me, I would add in the Amex everyday preferred card. We're giving me 4.5x on groceries,
Yeah.
3x on gas, and 1.5x on everything else, which is a great card, great catch-all if you want that. Even though we use the Freedom Unlimited as a catch-all because I shop at
Hmm.
Costco a lot, and you have a Visa card that way.
Hmm.
And I'll also add in the built card as basically captures my rent if I want to. I know Chad brought up the thing, any card can get you the points. I know also Sledge brought up like I think you had a person who used the Blue Business Plus card and got like 17,000 points. But me personally, I don't want to have that exchange fee. It's a psychological thing. I just don't personally don't want it.
Yeah.
But I'll add the build card in as so it'll be a 6 card setup with that. It'll be the
Hmm.
Chase Reserve, Freedom Flex, Freedom Unlimited, Amex Green Card, Amex Everyday Preferred, or the Amex Gold card, depending on how big your family is, and the
Yeah.
build card.
Wow. I like that setup. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially like that is a setup that a lot of people don't actually mention, like a green MX green card, everyday preferred, like just those 2 cards, using those in tandem. Very
No,
powerful.
Chad did mention that before. He did say
Oh, really?
Chad has a video. I will say he does have a video on that actually.
Okay.
But yeah, that would be my.
Yeah, you limit your annual fees by a ton versus like a standard, I don't know, Amex trifecta, or bifecta, I should say. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Hmm. And the last one, actually from John, who is in the chat, which I read this and I was like, I don't even think I can answer this possibly. I don't know. But he said, what credit card from a bank that isn't Wells Fargo, that isn't Chase, isn't Amex, isn't Citi, isn't Bank of America or US Bank would you consider picking up next and why? Uh, I
Yeah,
can't
that's
even think
easy.
of. Is it really?
Yeah, because he didn't put Barclays in there.
Oh, I guess, yeah, true. JetBlue
So it's like
Business.
JetBlue business card. That's like that's a no brainer for me right there.
Do you know why Barclays is so hated?
Because I think RJ talked about this one. It's like literally like they don't really have an identity. It's like where you go there, you can find a bunch of like resort cards or cruise line. Actually, one of my first cards I got was from Barclays, like the Carnival Cruise card. Actually,
Oh my god, really?
I regret that card so much.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think like just like like it's like a who's who of cards. Uh, yeah, yeah, like the chat said, everyday trifecta.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that also just like it's that the main reason I can think of. It doesn't have it
Gotcha.
doesn't have an identity
Hmm.
basically.
Interesting. Okay. Um, so that is actually all the Discord questions.
All right,
Um, so is
great.
there anything else that you wanted to talk about at all?
Um, no, I mean, I don't know if there's anything in the chat, but I'm pretty, uh, yeah, sure. What's it called? Not really. No, I think that's basically want to thank you for pretty much having me on. That was but I it's kind of surreal for me honestly because when I started this back in January, I did not expect anybody to even like hear a word I had to say. But I guess we'll say one last thing. I put this in my most recent video about the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I think um I want to talk about like basically I don't know if I should even say this. I catch
Go for it.
flack. But like how we talk about cards and how we talk about using cards, I think
Hmm.
there's a lot of, for right or wrong, there's a lot of like what the effective annual fees are, a lot of like how you can use things. But I think only people I really see like not really doing that. Like in terms of like redemptions, like what you really went through to get a redemption. Like when I first started, I hear like, oh, I can go to Bora Bora, I can go here and
Hmm.
there. I'm like, it's very attractive, but there's also a lot of work going into it. I think like talking about the fact that like it is a lot of work is should be a thing. Like it's not easy. I know Ask Sebi says like you got to it might be hard because you got to do the work for it. He says that in passing, but I
Hmm.
think like, I think like also like maybe talk more about the other side. I think like Spencer Johnson has done this. Also, Douglas Reports has done this. I really like people like talking about okay, not every single thing has to be an aspirational trip. The points can be used for things that aren't just like you're going down the street. I get it, it's not sexy. It's not the biggest thing, but like let people know that like you can change your life. It doesn't have to be if I don't go on this huge like crazy like expensive trip, I'm doing it wrong. I think
Hmm.
that voice needs to be higher. The voice of like, hey, just take your family, somewhere people in America. So take your family somewhere in America. Take your family like down the road. You go use your points to go somewhere here. I think I really feel like that voice needs to be said a lot more because like not everybody's going to be able to get 20 cards and some people just can only get a sign up bonus for a couple of cards and that's all they have.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that voice should be put out a lot more. That's off my soapbox.
I love it,
That's
man. I love it. No, I absolutely love that. Yeah. I think you mentioned in that video something like not like I forgot how you phrased it, but almost like we shouldn't be against signing up for cards for the welcome offer and everything. It's like that's the
Mhm.
reason. It's like I had
Yeah.
a whole video on that like months ago. Like I realized I never really got a card for strategy. It was just what had the highest bonus. So I end
Yeah.
up with I remember I ranked all my different cards and one comment was like
Mhm.
is like I'm not trying to be rude, but this is the weirdest assortment of cards I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, because it wasn't based on the cards themselves, it was based on the welcome offer, really, and that was it. So that's
Also, I want to answer Cesar's question. I'm cute. I'm very cute.
oh, that's sad. Well, me too.
Don't go for handsome. Go for cute.
JP is well, you're familiar, right? Just to make sure, why? What's the barometer for cute and handsome?
No, I don't.
You don't
I
know?
don't
Oh,
know
okay.
that. No,
Well,
that's new to
maybe
me.
you might not be cute then. Okay, so guys,
Oh.
let's educate. Let's just so Cesar in the military had one of his
Mhm.
drill instructors told him that if you are over 6 feet tall, then you're handsome. If you're under
Mm.
6 feet, then you're cute, and there's no way
Oh,
about it.
yeah. Well, in that case, I'm very cute then because I'm not over 6 feet.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're both
Yeah.
very cute. So I guess the cuter you are, the shorter, yeah, the shorter you are.
There you go.
Over under 6 foot, over handsome. All right, that's right.
Yep.
That's funny. Well, that's a good way to that we'll go out tonight since it's now fully nighttime here. It hit the
Yes.
horizon finally. It
Yes.
did. So look, like you said, you didn't think anybody would invite you and stuff. The main reason that I even got to really know about you was well, you're in the Discord and you're active, and people are like, "Oh, look at JP's video." So like, I encourage anybody who's watching who's not in the Discord, join it. That's how everybody learns about everybody's channel.
Yeah.
So JP's in there, and he'll talk after if you guys want to talk. Of course, whatever you guys do, I don't know. But just keep like doing what you've been doing, like just watching your podcast esque videos, the interesting branding you have, all the merch, all the different avenues you kind of work with. Like you just have a very unique style, and now having watched a few of your videos, like a very unique take on a lot of things. So I can appreciate that, and I think you're gonna uh, make a lot of good waves in this space. I'll say so. You'll just continue growing. So it's a pleasure to even have you, man. It's an honor
I,
for me.
I appreciate that because I definitely want to do something different than a lot of things I was seeing. So I'm glad that's actually translating.
Absolutely, man. It's
Yeah.
it's we're taking notice. Absolutely. So again, thank you for being here, man, and thank you
Thanks
to
for having
everybody
me.
who's here, of course. But as always, we got to see who's actually here. We'll rattle off. We got Calby, Calby. Well, everyone's talking about cute and handsome now. Calby, Josh, Cesar, John, Abdullahi. Get a breath. Matt Clausen, Chad Money Minutes. Matt Clausen again. Ravenous. He's the one that won the frying pan question. Bunch of people. But thank you guys for being here every single week
Yeah.
with some great people.
Appreciate
And
it.
yeah, thank you again, man. And I guess we'll see everybody next week.
All right. Till next time, guys.
All right. See you all.
Peace out.
See you, man.